Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to another Matchday preview show. Of course, as we build up to Southampton away this weekend, and we want to hear you this evening, so get your thoughts into our live chat. We'll try and get as many on the show as we can, and we'll try and shape the show's conversation around your live chat. So whatever you're thinking about your football club this evening, let us know in our live chat box. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we are partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes, and each time you play, you do support the crucial work of the East Anglian Air Ambulance. £2 a bingo card. They cover all the Premier League games. Go and check them out. How you check them out? You download it through your App Store, Google Play, whatever it might be, whichever device you've got. As you know, I've only ever really had an iPhone, so I can only ever tell you the App Store. But Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes, over 18s. Only be gamble aware. Lots to get through this evening. Obviously, we've got Southampton coming up. We'll discuss that, our 11s, our score predictions. Hopefully, going to have Saints fan Martin on the show as well to give us the lowdown on Southampton. And I'm going to start by bringing in my contributor, my co-host for the evening, Mr. Matthew Phillips. How you doing, Matt? You all right?
I'm good, thanks. Although I should be in mourning. You've just told me I'm out of the Survivor game.
Yeah, we're going to start this week with the Survivor game that we are running on Talking Town. You can enter at any point, but if you do enter late, you won't obviously win the prize, which I will announce in due course. I'm working on a few things behind the scenes. There will be a prize. That I can definitely promise you. But yeah, we'll start with the Survivor, and you are going to have to pause it. So if you're watching live, I mean, you can pause live, but if you're watching on catch up as well, comment for the algorithm, FTA, should have said that at the start. But you are going to have to pause it because it is a bit of a mess until I can get graphics, George, in other words, until I can go to begging to George to do me a nice little graphic. You are going to have to put up with an Excel spreadsheet because that's just how I roll. So you have to pause it. But this surprised me a little bit because Liverpool, Matt, costs an awful lot of people this week. But this is this week's Survivor, right? That's the spreadsheet. Look how many reds and oranges. Oranges mean you've missed a week, and I'm keeping you in. You're allowed one miss. One miss, that's it. No more than one. I'm being lenient. I shouldn't be, but I am because I'm a nice guy.
Was I not allowed to miss?
You are allowed to miss. You just didn't miss one. It still counts against you, but it's an orange, not a red. But you got a double red because you've gone for Palace and Chelsea in back-to-back weeks.
Let me down.
They let you down.
2 draws. That's me out then.
Yeah. Look, all those people with Liverpool, and you know what the real sickening thing is, Matt? They can't have Liverpool again, so they can't go back into that well. If you've chosen a team, that's it. So there are your teams on the screen that you've already chosen. Choose this week carefully. As I say, pause it so you can check if you don't know which team you've had. But you chose Palace, and they let you down with a 2-2 draw, right?
So, yeah, against Leicester. I've chosen 2 London clubs have let me down.
They have let you down, well and truly. But that Liverpool score is a bit of a...
Well, they got back to winning ways last night, didn't they? In Milan, in the Champions. See, Bayern Munich, 9-2. Yeah,
9-2. Obviously, they've been playing Villa in the Champions League 3 days after we played them. So that's obviously... Villa won last night as well. They got off to a winning start. But that Liverpool result, obviously, everyone went for Liverpool thinking, this is going to be, a slot at home, Liverpool at home, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Forest with a turn up for the books. I don't think anyone in a month of Sundays would have seen that coming, would they?
Certainly not me. I said Forest were going to get relegated because they were batshit crazy. Do you remember?
They might still get relegated, Matt. They might still get relegated. Just because they beat Liverpool doesn't mean they're not going to get relegated.
Sitting 7th. They've got 8 points from 4 games.
Very true.
That was Liverpool's first goal they've conceded, wasn't it? In the Premier League, and they lose. Mad.
Yeah. I could see the thinking. As I was writing it down on the sheet, I could see the thinking, that's probably who I would have gone for as well. But it took a whole lot of people out. It really did. But these are this week's games. So choose wisely. Remember, you can only choose one team once. Who, if you were still in it, Matt, if you were given a lifeline, which I'm not going to give you because I'm nice, but not that nice, who would you be looking to go for this week? They're the Saturday games. You've also got Brighton versus Forest and City versus... I won't go anywhere near Man City or Arsenal, by the way. That is a fixture I wouldn't touch if I was playing.
I'd probably go... Well, considering Crystal Palace couldn't beat Leicester, I would go with Manchester United to win at Palace.
Yeah. It's not a bad... Yeah, because I could see that. I can see the logic. I'd probably go for... I mean, Leicester-Everton tempts me a little bit because Everton currently, when things are bad for a manager, they're bad. And Sean Dyche, who I actually really like, clearly Everton aren't, they're not doing short.
Scoring. They keep scoring goals. It's kind of, like you said, do your gag again in case people missed it Sunday.
Oh, I wouldn't even let them walk my dog because they can't hold on to a lead.
Nice.
But you think about Sean Dyche, Matt. Predominantly people would say a defensive-minded manager. When you can't do the basic defensive side of the game, that's when things are going to really, slip up a little bit. And what good is a Sean Dyche team if it can't defend, right?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he can't be. I mean, look, they got absolutely drilled at Spurs, didn't they? 4-0. And then they were getting back on the train. Do you remember all the fans were having a go at them?
Yes. That was after game 2, wasn't it? Or game 1?
Yeah, game 2. And then they beating Bournemouth, wasn't it? 2-up.
Yeah.
And then lose 3-2 in injury time. And then they get done 3-2 at Villa. He must be on borrowed time, Dyche. But then who would come in at Everton? I mean, you ain't going to let someone go until they got someone in.
They're going to replace him just in time to play us, aren't they? New manager bounce.
Yeah, this is always your theory, isn't it? Yeah, the new manager bounce is always against us. I still think it's mad that not too many managers removed. Was Ancelotti at Goodison Park?
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like mad. It's like it's one of those moments in football you forget ever happened. When you say to somebody, like, as you just said there about Ancelotti at Everton, what? Did he really?
What was he thinking? Swapping Merseyside for Madrid?
No idea. But they're a side that's going to be in there with us come the end of the season. And obviously we now enter a week for this weekend back to Ipswich, and Southampton are going to be in and around us, you believe. And you've got Mike Baker says evening all 3 points incoming this weekend. Hope we've got lots of comments about Woody Wood. Surely has to be 3 points. Ipswich Town, we have Southampton on the downside. Ipswich won't take them lightly. A massive 6-pointer. I'd always pull up short, Matt, in September by saying, this is a must-win game. But how are you feeling heading into it? Because it is predominantly, a huge game, right? Because Southampton are going to be in and around you. So what are your thoughts heading into this one?
Well, I mean, not dissimilar to what we said on Sunday, really. I think all Ipswich fans are looking at it and going, we've got to get 3 points. And then Southampton fans are looking at it going, we've got to get 3 points. I mean, they've played 4, lost 4. They've scored 1 and let in 8. I mean, look, we're not much better. I mean, I know we've got 2 points on the ball, but we've only scored 2 and we've conceded 7, which brings me to my next point. Look, Southampton have looked pretty toothless in their 4 games. As have we, really. I've still got massive concerns about this. I mean, we got a deserved point at Brighton because we defended superbly. Could have snatched a win with Delap hitting the post. Would have been harsh on Brighton, but, we'll take it, considering, we're going to be down amongst the mix, as you rightly say, in May. But I am worried about where the goals are going to come from and whether or not one goal is ever going to be enough for us. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, what's Mr. Ipswich?
So are you saying we're heading to a 4-4? Is that what you're saying this week? We're heading to a 4-4, we're in for a 4-4 goal fest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, look, he's saying here, look, we've played Liverpool and Manchester City. Look, we did score early doors against Man City, didn't we? And then
it's a good point, though, by Mr. Town. We have, and that's why I always, as I said Sunday, I pull up short and say, I can't buy into what you're.
But who are the strikers? Delap, who you've got to try and keep fit.
Oh, you've got goals in this side. That's where I disagree. And we'll see it because these are games where the quality you've brought into the side you're going to start to hopefully see, right? Jack Clark's got goals in him. Schmolix has got goals in him.
Well, they have in the Football League. They have in the Football League. Huge question mark illuminated on top of the Empire State Building.
Yeah, but I work a podcast until I pick up a microphone. You weren't whatever you are in your professional world until you started doing it. Richard Branson says, "Don't ever say no, say yes."
But they're not sporting arenas where you're going up against somebody. Listen, I do hope because we've scored nearly 200 goals in 2 seasons, so it's a bit weird for us to be sitting here, or for me to be sitting here and saying, "I feel like there's a lack of goals in this side." It does. Look, the proof's in the pudding. Played 4, scored 2. So the proof's in the pudding. I know we've played Liverpool.
You've played Liverpool, Man City, Matt. That's where I say it's almost nonsense.
All right, then where are you thinking we're going to get goals from then?
Hopefully this weekend. Oh, you mean positions and players? I've just listed 3 or 4 players there to you. I really haven't. I wouldn't say goals are an issue. And I get where you're coming from with the point of the journey of the point, but I don't buy it. Not yet. If we're sitting here after Saints, maybe even Villa, Everton, etc., and you're still saying to me, look, we look toothless. All right, maybe I'll start to buy into
we're toothless
a little bit, but
I say we're toothless because we're missing someone else in that 9 position. And they wanted that Fotis Ioannidis, didn't they, out of Panathinaikos?
I did as well.
Well, we went for him in June, remember, and we still didn't land him. And actually, look, I mean, I was saying to Colin on the phone the other night, lots of clubs actually went for him. I think Southampton went for him, Everton went for him, Leicester went for him. I think people bid in 30 mil. Still wasn't enough to price him away from Greece. You know what I mean? That Greek sunshine, you see. So I don't know what it would have taken to get him, but I don't know. Just for me at the moment, sitting here, 4 games in or whatever, I don't think Delap and Hurst is enough in that number 9 role to consistently score goals in the Premier League to keep you up, is what I'm saying. I hope I'm wrong.
I agree with it, but I can see where you're coming from with it. Colin Plum says, if it's a draw on Saturday, it's still a good result in the Premier League, everyone. Is a draw a good result on Saturday?
Yeah, I think
that's
away
my
from
question
home.
to you. It's not my comment.
Let's not get into this entitlement that we're just going to rock up at Southampton and get 3 points like Liverpool thought they would get against Nottingham Forest at Anfield. Let's not get into that mindset. Ask anyone outside Anfield at full time against Forest, but it's on the backside. But yeah, hopefully, there's a blueprint there, isn't there? We beat them home and away last season.
We did.
I think we beat them quite comfortably, really. At St Mary's, albeit 1-0, wasn't it? The Amari goal, as you rightly said.
But that was early days for Russell, wasn't it? You know, and we were still bedding in that system.
It was a much tighter game, wasn't it, at Pullman Road? We'll be able to come back from being 1. We go 1 down. No, we went 1 up, then 2-1 down, didn't we?
1 up, then 2-1 down.
Yeah, that's it. Leaf got
Jeremy. Moments in football. Moments in football. Absolute moments in football.
One of the great Portman Road moments.
It's when I knew we were going up. Because I actually said to myself as we were attacking, Lord, if we're going up this year, we're going to have to score here. And then we scored, and I was like, okay, all right, we're going to go up this year. Great. And I was confident from that point in, because the town I've grown up with, it was always, Lord, if we don't score here, we won't make the playoffs or whatever, and we wouldn't score. Luke Hine would crash the bar against Watford about 400 times, or whatever the case may be.
I've got a vision of you saying these prayers and God sitting up there with a little blue and white scarf on. Don't worry, mate. That would come good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, mate, not a love for that moment in Jeremy.
Yeah, it was one of the great Portman Road moments. In all the years I've been going, 40 years, it was one of the top 5 moment. And it felt like after the game, with everyone out on the, the concourses outside the stadium, it was almost like that was the day we got promoted. Well, maybe it was when you think back to it, but we still, obviously it was confirmed, wasn't it, against Huddersfield? But it felt like that game. When you think back, I always think of that game rather than the Huddersfield one, really.
Because that was almost not a foregone conclusion, but it was certainly a more winnable game than Southampton, who were inside the top 6. Pushing, had gone on that run earlier in the campaign. That was a big moment, a big sort of litmus test for Ipswich in the sense of where we might end up, be it top 2 or inside that playoff, and you had to come through it. But now we are in the Premier League, and I've got Martin who's going to come in as a Saints fan just a second. Before I bring him in, I just want to pick up on that draw comment from Colin, and every game of football, if you can't win it, just don't get beaten it, and that really feels like this game here particularly. You don't want to give too many points away to a team that's going to be around you because of the obvious reasons.
Yes. Well, you always rightly say, don't you? You can divide the division into 3, can't you? You've got everyone pushing for Europe, everyone who's too good to not go down in the middle, and everyone who's battling relegation in that bottom third. And it remains to be seen where we're going to be. Hopefully, we'll be in that middle bit. I certainly think we've got the manager to do so. And it seems like we've got the defence to do so, having taken in.
Which you wouldn't have said 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, weird, isn't it? We couldn't stop scoring, and then we're not scoring, and we're not conceding. Yeah. So, it's kind of flipped, reversed it a little bit, hasn't it? But look, we talk about Sean Dyche being in trouble at Everton. I mean, Russell Martin needs a win at Southampton, right? It's very easy, isn't it, for a team that's been promoted to then suddenly be winless at the bottom, not scoring goals, conceding lots. They've had chances, haven't they? As we'll speak with Martin in a minute. Archer missed that penalty against Manchester United. Who knows what could have happened? So he needs a win as well. But both clubs need a win. We want to get our first win on the board, don't we? And they want to get their first point on the board. So
yeah, and I think you're right though. I do split the league into 3, but if you go even further into it, split it into 3, and then you split that bottom third division into a mini league. This is a real top of that table mini league, if you like, because these clubs, we hope to be mid-table, of course we do, but objectively looking at it, you would have thought Town would be a bottom 6 side. You would have thought Southampton be a bottom six side. So these are two teams really that if you want to be out at that right side of that little dotted line that says R next to it, it's got to be a positive, be that 1 point. But certainly, I think we can get all three. I'll bring in Martin. He's a Southampton fan right this second. Martin, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Gentlemen, how you doing? You okay?
How you doing?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. You know, building the anticipation and excitement ahead of this weekend. Obviously, it's yourselves away. It's just for you. It's a home game. Obviously, your season's almost mirroring our season. How's it gone for you guys? Just start the campaign from your perspective.
Really, really tough. Really tough. The gulf between the two divisions is huge, isn't it? I thought it'd be hard. I didn't think it'd be as hard as it has been. We played all right in Newcastle, to be fair. On the opening day, I thought we were really good for the first. Although for the first 30 minutes, we were outstanding. They had a man sent off. The clash with Ben Brereton Diaz, who went down like well, we all know what he did, but it wasn't great. It made it a really hostile reception for him for the rest of the game. They camped in their own half and made it really hard for us. We have a silly error by the goalkeeper, lose the game 1-0. Come back to Nottingham Forest, just didn't show up, just weren't good enough. The fans were there 3 hours before kickoff with all the new fan zones around St Mary's. Everyone's bang up for it, and we absolutely stunk the place out. We were really, really poor, to be honest. Toothless up front, didn't play with a 9. I walked away from it, felt really despondent. Went to Brentford, got turned over, half decent performance. Again, stupid errors cost us the game. And then against United at the weekend, we were good for 25 minutes, but 25 minutes doesn't win your football games. Cameron Archer missed a penalty and the heads dropped and they absolutely capitulated after that. They went up the other end, scored within inside 2 minutes. And by half time, we were 2-0 down. That's how ruthless the Premier League is. But I do worry where our goals are going to come from. I really do. I heard you guys chatting just before I come in. And yeah, we look really toothless. And I worry how we're going to hurt anybody at this level right now. I think Russell Martin's a good manager. I really, really like him. And he's been really, really, really harshly put under the microscope by not just the media, but some of our own fans as well. I'll tell you what, he done a brilliant job here last season. And for people to jump on his back after 4 games, need to go and give their heads a good hard wobble. Even if we got beaten at the weekend, I'd be giving your head to wobble because it's really harsh on him.
Okay.
I saw your video, Martin, when you bravely were out interviewing people in the rain, weren't you, before that Forest game? That looks pretty good, that new fan zone you got. Tell everyone about it.
It's really good. I'll tell you what, you got to give massive credit to the football club because they've invested huge money in around the infrastructure. So if you're coming down to St Mary's as an Ipswich fan this weekend, the away end's totally moved. So you'll end up in the south stand now. So where you used to go as an away fan, that northern stand, that's where that fan park that you would have seen us interviewing and doing bits in, is at the back of where the away fans were. It's a really nice area actually. Brilliant to create a good atmosphere, a bit of live music. They've got the lunchtime kickoff going on. There's a new family zone, fan zone. There's another one sort of behind the Kingsland stand as well. So it is really good. It's a nice atmosphere before a game there. It's a really nice place to go. I'm just not sure whether we've got the tools in the final third to really go and hurt teams and stay in the division. I hope that we do. I think we have got some good players. But yeah, we have to step up big time.
Is the jury out on Archer then? Because you spent 15 million on him?
Yeah, we spent 15 million on him. Another 6 or 7 on Brereton Diaz, who just looks like a cart horse at this moment in time. I'll be honest. I've not been impressed by him at all in any way or form. He runs into players, gives the ball away. He gives the ball away 5 times in the space of about 13 minutes last night, I counted. And he needs to be a lot better. He won't play the weekend. He'd get dropped, I would think, after what I've seen of him. I don't see where he's going to score goals playing off the left flank. Adam Armstrong's totally void of any confidence, which is a little bit of a concern at the moment. So, Archer and Brereton Diaz, couldn't they? I would have just spent the money and the wages on one player that was going to actually help the team. Maybe Archer will, but I was unimpressed with him the weekend. Not just a penalty miss. I thought his work rate off the ball was pretty lethargic. And I think to stay in the Premier League, you need everybody together that's going to work really hard for one another. He's going to have to buy in pretty quickly.
And what about this lad Fernandes you brought in? He plays in the 10?
Yeah, he's outstanding. He looks really good. He played against United and started well. He come on against Brentford, looked good. He come on at half time for Adam Lallana last night against Everton and was outstanding. Really good on the ball, gives and goes, 1 and 2 touches. He looks a really tidy little player, actually. I like the look of him. The one player that's been great for us, and you would have all heard about him, is a young lad that's come through our academy ranks, Tyler Dibbling. He's an outstanding player. Honestly, he's so good. He's real fearless. He can play sort of in the 8, but he can play off the flank. He can play through the middle. He can play in the 10. He's really versatile, but he's a really good player. I'm going to say it. I'm going to put it out there. I think he'll score before the next international break. I said it at the weekend on some coverage that I did. I think he will. He come really close against Man United. He pulled a really good save out of the goalkeeper. And he looked brilliant last night when he come on against Everton. He was probably our best player in 30 minutes.
Was he your man of the match against United?
As an outfield player,
yeah,
he probably was. Yeah, he was probably our man of the match. He got pulled off a cramp after about 65, 70 minutes. But yeah, Matt, he's brilliant. He'd start the weekend. He'd be one of the first names on my team sheet. He would be right now because
he's 17, 18 or something?
He's 18, yeah. He's 18. I think him and Fernandez are both play the weekend because they just give us something that Aribo and Smallbone won't give us. They give us something going forward. There are big decisions for Russell to make the weekend against Ipswich, and I think that midfield battle was crucial. I really do. Calvin Phillips, I've seen a bit of him. I've been intrigued to get your opinions on him, but I thought he looked good when I saw the highlights against Fulham. I don't know how he played down at the Amex, but I think he's got the potential to run any game of football.
Yeah, I mean, you keep saying, don't you, mate, on the show, you feel like he grows into the 90 minutes, don't you?
Yeah, one of those players that really grows as the game goes on. He really starts to grow, and you know, it's been really good for us. Really good, and refining the form that got him the move to Man City. You know, it's only 2 games, it's early days, but from what I've seen of him, I've been really impressed. And the way he reads the game predominantly is what I really love about him. It's so easy to him, and you know, players that read the game as easy as it does as he can. You see it in their movement, and it's not always about having to make a breakneck tackle or whatever, because he's read that game, he's read that movement. And you mentioned some of the decisions for Russell Martin. What type of things has he got to the side for Saturday?
I think that the midfield's probably his biggest call. I think the back four will probably speak for itself now. Jack Stevens got sent off against Man United. The captain did. So he's out for 3 games. I think he's going to face further punishment from the FA as well because of foul and abusive language towards the referee and the 4th official when he was sent off. So he'd probably pick up. Yeah, not great for me, captain. You know, the tackle he makes, the tackles on the halfway line as well. I don't know what he was doing. It was
Harwood Bellis come in then?
Harwood Bellis to come in. I think he'd take the vice captaincy, actually. He had it last night. Adam Armstrong was a vice captain all last season. He was dropped last weekend against Man United. Be interested to see if he comes back in the side. I'm not convinced he will, actually, but I think the back four will be Walker Peters, Sigawara plays right back, Harwood Bellis, and Jan Bednarek. He'd go with a 4 at the back. It worked better. Ramsdale and goal speaks for itself. Then the midfield three would probably be. I think it'd be Downs for sure. Leslie Ugochukwu, who's on loan from Chelsea, looks good because I think we'd have to match up Morsley and Phillips in midfield. I think that those two are really good in midfield. I do worry about the midfield battle. I really do. Hutchinson's another player that makes runs from midfield along with Smodic. So you're going to need people that are going to be prepared to track and make runs from midfield. It's whether he uses Lallana in there just to keep the ball moving and somebody that's got a bit of experience, because Dibbling will play somewhere in midfield. It's whether he plays off the right or he play in sort of that midfield 3, that inside, sort of like inside right potentially. So that's kind of like where he plays Dibbling. Is whether he stick with Archer up front or he throw Brereton Diaz through the middle. I think he'll stick probably with Archer. I'm not convinced Brereton Diaz is a start in this one, but what remains to be seen. I think that's where the real decisions are going to be made. You know, I just think hurting your fullbacks worries me because there's. I spoke about him when I went to the overlap, actually, because they were saying, "No, who do you think is going to be one of the best left-sided players in the league?" And I said Leif Davis, because I think he's brilliant.
Good man.
I just think to get at him, I just think he's good. I'm not just saying it because I'm on your podcast. I think he's got potential to go and play for England. I said it last year. I thought he would. Is that good?
Yeah.
Wait till you see Greaves.
How do you call him? Yeah, and Greaves. That's the other one. Like, I don't know how we hurt you. It worries me. We need to find goals, but we need to be quicker. Front to back, we're too slow. Transition in play at times is just we pass and pass and pass. It gets I spoke to someone that was Everton at the game last night. Goes, Christ, this football bores you to death. It does have that tendency to do that.
Well, the reason Martin Brighton kind of, even though it was 0-0, I think they had nearly 300 passes in the first half to our 82. We got completely dominated, but they were so quick in the transition. It took them a little while to beat our press from our number 9 to their keeper and back 4. Once they got through that, they were like all over us, weren't they?
They were, and I was just going to pick up on that point about Russell Martin's play, because that's one of the things that the pundits have been speaking about, hasn't it, in the last couple of weeks? Will Russell Martin, will Southampton, will they adapt, or will they almost do a Burnley? And this is our principles. We're sticking to it. And of course, everyone knows what happened to Burnley. They got relegated because of it. How do you see it on playing? Do you see a little bit of leniency in Russell Martin? Do you see him sort of changing it, or do you think you will go with this is our philosophy, we ain't changing it for no one, and what will be?
I think he's got a philosophy, but one thing I really like about him, he does adapt, because against Man United, they were a little bit quicker out the back. They went long a few more times. It wasn't necessarily tippy-tappy, try and play it from the goalkeeper all the time. Ramsdale's got really good, his sort of vision and his passing is really good. So they did mix it up against Man United. They just come up against a really, really good side. I'd just be intrigued to see if you go and press us. Man United didn't press Southampton at all at the weekend, not really, because they're more of a counter-attack side. But they killed Saints when they broke with numbers. I'd be interested to see if Ipswich do that or press us. Like Forest come and they really pressed us, and they didn't allow us to play any football at all. So Southampton really struggled to get hold of the ball sort of in the final third and sort of progress from the sort of like anywhere from the halfway line to the edge of their 18-yard box. We just couldn't make those passes, couldn't find those through balls, and they didn't get any pockets of space. I'd be really interested to see how Ipswich match us. I really will, because you beat us at our place last year, and it was a goal fest at Portman Road, wasn't it? I'm not sure there'll be that many goals in it, but I do fear for us a little bit again in this game, because I think everybody knows it's a must-win game. I think there's more pressure on us than you, because you've got a couple of points on the board. We have no points. 1 goal, you have 2. I just feel there's more pressure on us. We're the home team. I wouldn't want us to fall behind, because our fan base is a little bit fickle at times, and I'll probably get called out on that. But they are, and they turn really quickly. To see them turning on our manager already upsets me a little bit, because I don't think you really need to turn on him at this stage. Give him to the next international break, and then maybe judge him a little bit more, because he's tweaking things. He's changing things. Everyone was crying out for changes at the weekend, and he made them. So fair play to him. He made the changes that everybody want. I just don't know if he's got the personnel in the final third to keep us in the Premier League. And that's not down to him. I think that's down to the owners and the board and what they had available to spend.
You took a while, didn't you, to get going in the Championship last season? I think you lost to us, and I think you got lost at Borough, didn't you? And then you went on that huge 26-game run or whatever it was. Yeah,
it took a while to get going. It took an international break as well to do that.
Yeah.
And it was a lunchtime kickoff against Leeds that we come out and were really good that day. And that was like everybody says. I see people in the chat saying Russell's too stubborn to change it, which is absolute nonsense. It is nonsense, because he does change it when he needs to. That day against Leeds, when we beat them, we went front to back quicker. We didn't play it across the back 4 as much, and we were just a bit quicker. And it's just the players playing the system quicker. And he changes the system. He's gone from a 5 to a 4 at the back. He's a brave manager when he needs to be, and it's all about personnel. I think in the Championship, it was just the personnel we had will get you results in that league. And has he got the personnel in this league to get us the results that we need? I think it's a big test for him. And I think he'd go more direct against Ipswich. I think he'd look to get the ball forward quicker. I think they look to get Ugochukwu and Downs on the ball a bit more and try and find Diblin quicker. Try and find Fernandes. Maybe Maxwell Cornet will play, and they'll try and get a bit more power and pace and do what Ipswich do a little bit more. I think it'd be really interesting. I think it's a good game and really interesting matchups all around the pitch as well.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Gov is relieved we didn't sign Leslie Ukachukwu, aren't you,
He's a good
absolutely.
player, but I'd rather have Phillips.
You would be able to
probably,
say
to be
his
honest.
name.
It's more the pronunciation Matt's talking about there.
Where's
The pronunciation is not the easiest.
Where's Smallbone? We like Smallbone. Where's he?
No, you like
Yes.
Smallbone.
Done great last year, didn't he? He was really
Yeah,
good player, Irish international. That he's criticised by our fans. I mean, he plays one bad pass, but he's come for our academy. I love him. I think he's a great lad, great human being, good player. But it's a big step up, isn't it? The Premier League. We've brought reinforcements in his position. He picked up an injury on international duty, and he missed out against Man United. He missed out again against Everton at the weekend, in midweek. Sorry, yesterday in the cup. So will he come back in at the weekend? I don't know. He won't start. He may make the bench, but he's got a bit of a niggle at the moment. Aribo got dropped against Man United, but I'm not. He's all right. He's not. I think Ukachukwu is a far better player, and I think Fernandez brings more in that position than he will. And I think Tyler Dibling's ahead of pretty much everybody in his position at the moment.
It's such fine lines, isn't it? Because sorry, mate, I just got to quickly say fine lines because of. Did you have momentum when you got the pen against United? And had you scored it, obviously you go one up.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said Sunday, Guff, it's coulda, woulda, shoulda, isn't it? I mean, it's
we had a bit of momentum. We looked really good. We calls like Tyler Dibling pulls a really good save from Manana, and he's going past player. He's beating people. We're having moments, but we're real susceptible to a mistake. And if all of a sudden, if you're committing loads of men, all of a sudden you're real susceptible to being broken. And I think Ipswich are that side that can counter with men. And I've seen what Smodic can do in the Championship last season, and I think whether he starts. Does he start against us? Do you think the weekend, Smodic?
I've got him in my team, which we'll run through sort of in a moment. But yeah, I've got him in my side. But you could see Jack Clark come in. You could see Smodic slide inside. There's different options from us.
I'd imagine you'd look for someone like Jack Clark for that pace and to get at our fullbacks, because like Walker Peters is playing at a left back. He's not a left back. That's the problem. He's playing it and he's susceptible to mistakes because he always wants to get the ball back onto his right foot.
Yeah.
He's playing his best two fullbacks because he's playing because he didn't expect to have him. That's the problem. We've brought a right back to replace him. And then he's obviously not gone out the door. When the right back's decent, Yuki Sigawara, he's not bad at all. He's quite good. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see who he puts against Sigawara. I would imagine he'd have Jack Clark all over him. I would imagine he'd get some power and some pace and look to cause him problems. Now, Anthony Gordon caused him problems on the opening day. He got pulled off at halftime, I think. But yeah, he did cause him a few issues.
Martin, before I let you go, and I really appreciate your time this evening. It's honestly appreciated.
Always welcome. I love coming on.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good show. It's a quality show.
Thank you. And I haven't paid him either.
It's a great show. Yeah, I watched loads. I watched tons and tons. I watch content from all the clubs because I want to get a feel for like what you're saying, Gav, what Matt's saying about Ipswich, because I get a good feel for Ipswich. So I'll do the same about other clubs. But no, yours is my go-to Ipswich. I love it.
Boom! Thank you very much. Now, this is obviously the Flynn Downs derby. So I just need a score prediction from you. Who takes the Flynn Downs derby?
I think it's really tough. Do you know what? I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to sit right on the fence. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Jack Clark, I think he scores against us. I think we get off the mark with Tyler Dibling gets his first Premier League goal. 1-1. But I wouldn't be surprised to see us get beaten. There's a lot of Southampton fans that are feel really edgy about it. I dread to think what happens if we got beaten and what the atmosphere would be like and what happens to our manager. And he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve some of what's coming his way. I stand up for him. I'm in his camp big time. I don't know him, but I love what he did last season, and I love what he's trying to do. Like I said, I come back to what I've said in the show a few times. It's all about the personnel.
Excellent, Matt. Anything else for mine?
No, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think it's going to be a close game. I feel like probably Smodics will play, given that he scores 27 goals in the Championship, and these are two teams fresh out of the Football League against each other. Whether Clark will get his... Will that be his...
I do worry about Delap. Yeah. I worry about Delap because I think he's powerful.
He should.
He's bulldozer, yeah.
I watched him against Fulham. I watched the 30-minute highlights of all your games. I thought you were really unlucky against Brighton at the weekend. Had chances, but he is so strong. He has potential to bully our two centre backs.
Yeah.
Harwood Bellis, by the way, he's not in his best moment at the moment. He's really struggled in the Premier League. He got dropped against Man United because he's been at fault for a couple of goals in the opening games. He's been pulled off in pretty much every game up until getting dropped. He will have to come back in because he doesn't really have. Well, he has other options, but he won't use anyone else. So I think there's a good matchup that between Delap and Harwood Bellis because I think he could cause us big problems. Southampton fans turn their nose up to signing him as well. Do you know what? If it was between Archer and Delap, I know I would have taken.
And I'm glad you chose Archer and we chose Delap.
Yeah, I would have taken Delap. I really would.
He's a phenomenal player, really phenomenal
Josh
player.
has just said in the chat, hasn't he? Delap will bully the Southampton centre-backs. And I agree. Josh in the chat, I think he's absolutely spot on. They won't have an easy afternoon. I think he'd be a man that, look, it could we've all gone, so there won't be many goals in it. But it could be an absolute goal fest, couldn't it? And we could end up with goals galore. Have another rerun of Portman Road.
Absolutely. Martin,
Thanks
really appreciate you coming on. You look after yourself and have a great season, just not starting Saturday, all right? All the best.
Yeah, no, I'll see you soon. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. All the best. But yeah, Josh does say that will bully your centre-backs for sure. Won't have an easy afternoon. Ryan actually goes the other way and says Hurst, if fully fit, should start. I love what Delap has done so far. But against Brighton, we kept the ball better with Hurst on the pitch. Important for the press, which he fully understands. I disagree with Ryan.
I was going to say, you didn't agree with that when we were watching the game mid-match, did you?
Look, my love for George Hurst is well on record. Just go through the archives. Love George Hurst. But at that point, no, I wouldn't have taken Delap off. But now, no, Delap starts for me. He's strong. He's physical. He's everything you want in a centre forward, I think, in our tactical play. And he can, and we've seen it. We saw it Saturday. He can craft an opportunity out of nothing. Like his one shot that hit the post was all of his own making. Didn't need anybody else.
Phenomenal run. Phenomenal run. No one could stop him.
No, the only thing that could stop him was the post, sadly.
Yeah.
But it was a real phenomenal run. And before we get into who starts and our score predictions ourselves, it is halftime. Obviously, you're still here, so you're digging the content. Fantastic. Hit the like button. If you're watching on Twitter, come on over to YouTube, Talking Town ITFC, and subscribe. Matt, what are they got to do at home?
Whilst you're watching this, just pause it up, visit us, like and subscribe. It helps everybody.
You don't even have to pause it, Matt, to be brutally honest.
The algorithm.
You just have to slide it down and hit the like button with the thumb.
What was he watching on TV?
Oh, we are on a few TVs. I don't know. I don't know. I've never watched myself on a TV, believe it or not.
I thought you should on TV before.
Thank you very much.
And we are on
Sky. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I never actually watched those back. I probably should. But we are also partnered with SolarWise Roofing and Building Services Limited. Ahead of the winter, be wise. Get your roof checked with Shane from SolarWise Roofing and Building. They do roofing services, building services, hence the name SolarWise Roofing and Building. They also do UPVC roofline, groundwork services, all manner of different things. So whatever you need doing around the house, on top of the house, just give them a call, 01206 628 544, 01206 628 544. Don't let the dialing code put you off. They cover the whole of East Anglia, Essex, London, Suffolk, Norfolk, and the North, according to the website, which you can find at solarwiseroofingandbuilding.co.uk. SolarWise Roofing and Building, be wise this winter. Boom. Right, now, on to the fancy graphics. So if you're watching on Twitter and you're like, I've not seen this Talking Town for a while or ever before. And they must have really fantabulous graphics. Well, we do when George is involved. When George isn't involved, we get graphics like this. Oh, it's behind me. Hang on 2 seconds. Let's move us up here. There we go. There we go. We get graphics like that.
That was a good move.
Oh, well,
Split screen.
No expense spared here at TT Towers. But this is my side. Let me lose the overlay. All right. So you can see it. I mean, because obviously I want you to see it that much clearer, don't I? You've got Muric in goal. I've gone for Twinzabi at right back. Of course, I have O'Shea, Greaves, Davis, Phillips, Morsey, Schmodix, Hudson, Ogbene, and that. Let me talk you through this lineup. All right. I was really torn with the three behind the striker. Obviously, you got Burns, Jack Clark, Schmodix, Hudson, Ogbene. Personally, if I was feeling more brave, I would have gone Jack Clark on the left, Sammy Schmodix in the centre, and then perhaps Ogbene or Hutchinson back to the right just for this game, to see, what it looks like with two wingers with pace in Hutchinson, Ogbene and Clark, and obviously Smollett's in the centre. But I played it safe. The only change I made obviously was Burns out, Ogbene in, because obviously Burns back from an injury. I know it's been a week's break, but Ogbene is a guy you spent money on, is a very explosive quality winger in his own right. I would like to see him come back in, but that's just because he's a new player, and it's like a new toy, Matt. Really, you just want to play with it, right? Every chance you get. So that's my lineup. Where would you change it? Where would you tweak it? And what are your thoughts at home? Let us know in the comments.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, Muric is coming off the back of a man of match displays, and he was fantastic against Brighton, as was Twanzebe. O'Shea and Greaves look really good together. Leaf's a no-brainer at left back, isn't he? He'd be relieved he's not playing against people of Champions League quality, I'd imagine, this week. Morsey and Phillips again seems a no-brainer. Yeah, it's the three, isn't it, behind Delap that I think is where the question marks are going to be. I like the idea of Hutchinson and Ogbene coming off the bench.
Oh, okay.
Sort of late, so you've got that burst of pace to really get, as Martin was from Saints was saying just a minute ago, to really get in at their two centre backs. So I would probably have Smodics in the middle. I'll go Jack Clark on the left. I think he warrants a start now, which would be his first start, wouldn't it, in the league?
And I'm fully in agreement with that. And had I been braver, I would have gone with that myself.
Yeah. And then and I think we keep Wes on the right hand side, like I say, and I think you'll probably see some planned substitutions that will see the burst of pace from the bench. And Delap obviously up top. Yeah. I mean, it's like we said earlier. I mean, it's like we're both fresh out of the championship. Play the players, I think, that have had the impact in the championship. I know Amari was really good for us and scored 10, 11 goals, wherever it was last season. But I do like the fact that you've got someone who's recorded the fastest Premier League player ever coming off the bench, along with Amari. So I mean, that's a real weapon, I think, to bring in. Last 25 minutes, 20 minutes. That's Samaritan. Certainly, if it's a draw or we're chasing the game, for example.
And that's the thing, right? I mean, George obviously, jokingly says Alan Mann on the left wing, Darren Curran on the right. He was a great loan player, really great loan player. Yeah, one of the few great loan players, really, when you look back over the years, or one of the few that stand out. But this is the great place to be. This is the great thing as a Town fan, right? But obviously, results speak for themselves, and eventually you've got to start winning on the football pitch. You can't keep winning windows on paper and say, "Oh, what a great squad we've built," and we have built a great squad. We've eventually got, but and it will do, and I fully believe that results are going to, win Saturday, for example, etc., etc. That wasn't what the point I was making. Where I was going with it was, this is now what we've got. We've got a squad of absolute quality. You're saying three players there that could play against three players that are playing,
and we're not even including our top scorer from last season in there. Chaplin.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm toying with the idea of playing Wes or an £8 million winger, or do we play Jack Clark, who cost us, XYZ, or do we play Sammy Smodics, who got a top goal scoring award last year in the championship? Long gone are the days, and this is the exciting thing as a Town fan, where when you're building your teams ahead of the weekend fixtures, longer are the days where you're going, oh yeah, but if you don't play him, the only option you've got is him. I can't face that prospect on a Friday night or a Thursday night or whatever.
We've not even got Connor Chaplin in the conversation here.
This is it. And my Premier League fantasy team is named after Connor Chaplin. He's my favourite Town player, or was I don't know. Is he? No, times have changed. I don't know, but he certainly was last year. And this is it. This is the thing, and such an exciting thing, thing to have. And this leads us onto the results, and where I was heading 4 minutes ago with the original point, onto the results, onto score predictions. We want your score prediction at home, whether you're watching live or on catch up. Let us know what you think the score is going to be. If you're on Twitter, you can't leave a comment, but that's partly your fault, really, isn't it? Because you're on Twitter, you should be on YouTube. Part of the conversation there. On
too many platforms. This is the issue.
Too many platforms. Only two. Oh, it's X now, isn't it? It's X.
X.
Twitter to me. Or would be Twitter to me.
Twitter X would have been a better name.
Twitter.
Because people still call it Twitter anyway, don't they?
They do.
Like
they do. It's like the Premiership, right? Because obviously it's no longer the Premiership, is it? But people still call it the Premiership. There's a great article on The Athletic about the Premiership and why people still call it the Premiership.
And why do they? Because they don't know any different. Why do they still call it the Premiership?
Because it's basically when you first were in love with football, like truly in love, and it was your main thing. You know, there was no family, there was no this, there was no that. And I'm trying to remember what the article said word for word, but basically it's when it really mattered to you. So for me, the Premiership sort of ceased mattering to me when I knew we were never going to get back into it under Marcus Evans. Like I just sort of told myself as a way of consoling myself with the grief that the Championship was the top level of football. Like there's no more. There was nothing above it.
Oh,
nothing existed. That was not.
You were delusional.
Yeah. It really was. It really was. It was like that's how I sort of mend my broken heart of knowing that we'll never be in the top table again by pretending that top table doesn't exist. That it's a different sport.
Fairy tales come true, Martin. Fairy tales.
They're playing tiddlywinks. We're playing checkers and all that different jazz. But yes, basically it's when it mattered to you. So if you know, like the Carling Premiership, says Phil in the chat. That's obviously
it was the FA Premiership, I think, in '92, wasn't it? The first one.
Yeah. Then it was the Carling Premiership. Then it was the Barclaycard Premiership, and then the Premier League decided that obviously they could get more out of it if they dropped the sponsor's name and made it into a brand, the Premier League. A bit like the NFL, a bit like, you know, Major League Baseball, things like that. NBA made it into the name that it was. But it's a good article. Go and check it out. And by the way, we're not sponsored by Athletics, so it's not a plug or anything. We should be though. The amount of times I mentioned the Athletic on this show, that's my go-to source. I really love the Athletic.
Journalist on here before, haven't we? Matt Slater's been on.
We have. Yes.
Right, takeover news right here.
Takeover news. Right. Score predictions. Let's do it. Here we go. So I have asked a contributor for a score prediction. I have put mine in the chat as well. And let me just sort of play around with the layout there so you're not as big. That should work. All right. Well,
you found some new buttons here behind the
scenes. I found a new hot pad. You know, I'm just like pressing all these different buttons. But I've asked George, who does most of our design work, just not the bad stuff, for his score. Here's my score. Bada boom, bada bing. Hang on, can I do that? Oh, excellent. They work. So I've gone for 2-1 to us. George has gone. He hasn't gone 1-1. He's gone 2-1. I haven't changed it. I haven't changed it. We've both gone 2-1. We've both gone 2-1. I'll quickly take it off. You didn't see that at home. You didn't see that.
It's funny you should say that because that is actually my prediction. 2-1.
Is it really? Have we all gone 2-1? Have we really?
Yeah.
You don't think it'll be a goal fest of 4-4 then?
No. Well, who knows?
No.
I mean, I feel more. I mean, having started the show thinking we're a bit toothless, and then speaking to Martin, where Southampton have been toothless, they've been missing penalties, and the fact he thinks that, you know, we could either counsel or press them to varying degrees of success and get the 3 points. Yeah, I think 2-1's a good scoreline. Who would get the goals? I'm not sure. I'm still worried about scoring goals. I'm not going to lose this until I just can't see where they're all coming from. Certainly when we think last season's top scorer, Chaplin, 13 or whatever it was, he's not getting in the side. Who was after that? Broadhead. He's not even fit to play. And I just worry that we've got to keep Delap fit. But I certainly think Delap will score on Saturday. Could even get both in actual fact. But it would be lovely to see someone like a Jack Clark, Smodic score again, or an Amari off the bench, or if he starts, or whatever it might be, or someone like a Wes Burns getting off the mark. It'd be great for someone to break their Premier League duck, I think, and to score. But yeah, I do hope we can get those 3 points because it would just be fantastic. I mean, it might even give us a little bit of depending on the other results, might even give us a little bit of a barrier between the other sides. We can get to 5 points. I think it's so important to get that first win on the board and to do it away from home against Southampton. Well, we've been there. We went there last season and did it. There's no reason why we can't this season. So fingers crossed, eh?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, if you can get the 3 points, which we all desperately crave, you're going to then put yourself 5 ahead of Southampton at this stage. Possibly 5 over other teams that, you know, that don't pick up the points at the weekend. Obviously, we're all playing. Look, they're a side, as we said at the start of the show, if you break the division down into 3 divisions, then break that 3rd division down into a mini league. Yeah, this is the top of the table, almost clash of that mini league where you're going to be in and around each other. You think all season, and survival is going to come down to how well you do against each other more than it is against, and then the bonus points of how many, like Forest, for example, who, you know, are doing real at the start of the season, but beating Liverpool, that is a Brucey bonus. That is a bonus 3 points that no one expected you to get. You know, well, we sadly haven't had that. We played Man City in Liverpool and didn't get any. But you're not expected to get any there. Southampton, you perhaps are. Everton coming up on the schedule, you perhaps are.
We could seriously leapfrog some sides here, depending on how the other results go. A Palace, Leicester, West Ham, Spurs, all ahead of us right now.
And West Ham we've got coming up as well. Another side, if Fulham got that point. But last weekend's points are really, and the point before it really, but they're two good points that are good really foundation blocks.
Really good.
Provided you do get a positive result, and a positive result here would be a 0-0. It wouldn't be a disaster in September.
Yeah, I mean, even if we draw the game, at least, I mean, it's not 3 points, but then you look at it in the fixture list and you're thinking, well, that's 3 unbeaten.
I can hear Mick McCarthy in my ears,
Every point's a prisoner.
No such thing as a bad point on the road. You offered me a point now, wouldn't get on the coach. All those different things.
It'd be great. I mean, it'd be lovely to get that win. I really hope we can. I feel like the team deserve it after that display against Brighton. I mean, I celebrated that point like we'd won the game. I leapt up. It felt like it was a victory. To certainly get over that first half, we were so under the cosh. And we didn't fold underneath that pressure. If anything, like we say, Delap hitting the post and the Murray had that run, and it looked like we might even snatch it, which would have been hard. Blimey,
that was close, wasn't it? There, you? That was close, wasn't it?
We've just gone magnified there, everybody, if you're listening. We're desperate for a win, aren't we? We're desperate. We want to see the players celebrate. The fans want to celebrate away from home. They were fantastic against Brighton, and I want to see McKenna get that win as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. There we go. There's our scores. Get yours into the comments, whether you're watching live or on catch up. We've got the Talking Town Matchday 4 for Discord users only. Become a Discord member by hitting the join button on YouTube. $4.99, cancel at any point. We've got Survivor, which I mentioned at the start of the show. So jump back, have a look, pause it. You're going to need to see the spreadsheet. We've got that in play. And of course, the Talking Town Fantasy Premier League. If you're not playing, or if you are playing and you want to join it, please do. But we are back. Match reaction, post-game Southampton. So join us live the moment the full-time whistle goes. But that's it, really. We've broken it down. We've built it up. We've built up the anticipation, I hope, for you at home. Hit the like and subscribe. We are part with Stowmarket Osteopaths. Don't live life in pain. Give Freddie a call. I'm 449-613-633. I was there Monday. I'm going to vlog one of my visits to Stowmarket Osteopaths soon, because I reckon the viewers, particularly, I think most of our viewers would probably like to see me, in pain, to be honest with you, So
the gov.
Probably be record views, to be fair, wouldn't it? Watching me get,
I'm surprised you didn't you should have done a live vlog of you staying up all night. Tell everyone you stayed up all night to watch the Chicago Bears, didn't you? So how long were you actually up for? Or did you actually fall asleep? How did this work?
I was more alert than our offensive line. I'll tell you that much.
You up for 24 hours then? Is this what happened?
Not quite 24 hours. No. I had a dip in. You messaged me in the evening, and I was like, I've got to go to bed because I can't understand a word he's saying. He's
I did it on purpose. Yeah, I knew you'd be hallucinating or something. Yeah.
I knew you did. Yeah, but no, it was fun. But no, give Freddie a call. Honestly, don't live life in pain. Give Freddie a call. I want to vlog it primarily because I think it's one of those things, osteopath. People, it's a great thing that people don't know enough about, and they should, because I honestly swear by it. Since I've been going to Freddie,
want to see Freddie. People want to see what Freddie looks like. Yeah,
but since I've been going to see Freddie, right, at Stowmarket Osteopaths, I have been so much better. So much better because of the things that he's able to do and manipulate the pressure points, etc. It's a real, like, before I went many years ago, I was very skeptical, probably how some people are. But honestly, I swear by it. When you're pregnant, right, you've got to come up with a labour plan, right? You've got to come up with, the birthing plan, they call it.
You've been down that route as well, have you?
Oh, yeah. Only three times. No more, though. No more. Yeah, no more, ever again. But the same thing happens for pain.
That one.
Yeah, no chance. No, I'm not Robbie Williams, mate. I can't be. I haven't got the leverage to get away with that. But of being a global superstar, but they ask you to put a pain management plan together, and he's on my pain management plan. Like, if I'm ever in serious need, it's the first place I go. It's that good, honestly. But anyway, Stowmarket Osteopaths. I'm on 456.
There we go.
He did live
the content. We look forward to seeing it.
Didn't he? I was right. Robbie Williams did live vlog or stream. Yeah. So that's the things you can do when you're a global superstar.
I know. Stupid, really, isn't it? But,
I put Football Manager on him once, and that got an absolute death stare.
Yeah, but it did. That was a brave move from you, I feel.
It did. I had a
Because every
Champions League
game of Football Manager.
I had a Champions League final to manage, Matthew. Things weren't progressing.
Did you wear a suit for it? I know people who've worn suits.
I did that once. Yeah, I have been there. Yeah, I have been there. Yeah, I have been there. Anyway, we're done. We're dusted. That man there's Matthew Phipps. I'm Martin. Thank you for watching. Otherwise known as the Gov. Thank you for liking. Thank you for all that you do. And we'll see you Saturday post game. But until then, Town are going to win this Saturday. Come on, believe it.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. Oh, yes, love. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Oh, yes, love. I woke up all soaked in sweat. Chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you. A long